Hi, it's August from Oneness Freedom to be Happy and Healthy, Wealthy and Healed movement. And you're listening to a training series on the Awakened Imagination Challenge. Okay, repeat after me. I am curious to see how my natural state of love and abundance will reveal itself for me to experience starting right now. Okay, let's do that again. Repeat after me. I'm curious to see how my natural state of love and abundance will reveal itself for me to experience starting right now. This is day 9 of the challenge. In today's lesson, we're going to explore. We've got 2 more tiny explorations with this bit here. We do 5 segments of these because it's really important that you just build in these habits and notice what you see that activates the triggers. What you see, hear or feel that activates the trigger. What you actually sense. The sensation that activates the trigger, and part of what happens is that you're doing these. People often don't realize this. Sometimes people tell us that these exercises, oh, they are so boring, or I get frustrated, or I don't understand. You're not supposed to understand initially. You're just supposed to experience. So as we explore the first 5, 6 exercises in this theme, they're setting the scene to bring us to an experiential understanding, not just a mental understanding, but the experiential understanding of how fast we imagine and add meaning. And how often when you imagine and add meaning to a trigger, gosh, it's always depleting your bank account. It's always depleting that emotional state bank account that you have. So, today in lesson 9, we are going to loosen things up a little bit. Look, listen and feel. Take your 3-minute break, right? Remember your phrase. This sensation that I feel, what I see, what I hear, does not mean anything. It does not mean what I imagine it does. Remember that little phrase. As you explore with that little phrase again, just notice where your mind naturally goes. Do you start looking around and adding meaning? Do you start listening and add meaning? Do you notice sensations in your body, like the temperature of your hands, cramp in your leg? If I was taking care of myself, I wouldn't have these cramps in my legs. And I must be a bad person. And there goes your state, right? The main difference with lesson 9 is this. It's free flow. Just notice today, the main thing today, and you keep repeating, this blank doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean what I imagine it does. As you explore with that phrase, what I want you to do and notice is this. I want you to notice, where do you tend to go? Do you tend to get mostly triggered by visual, auditory, or kinesthetic sensation? You're building an understanding of how your life has been run. I am 71 years old, and I know roughly how my life gets run by these triggers. I know the percentage of visual, percentage of auditory, sound, and percentage of kinesthetic sensation, and being aware of it allows me to notice, hold on, I've lost my state. What was the trigger that I added meaning to? Was it a go-giggling? Did that send me back to when I was a young boy? What was it? And just becoming infinitely curious. Again, you don't have to become confident with these methods, but what I want you to do is become infinitely curious about how you have let your imagination run wild. There are 2 things in Pruning the Vine lectures of Neville that is fascinating. Number 1 is, the vine that produces fruit gets trimmed and gets shaped so it produces even better fruit. The vine that is not producing fruit gets cut off. Now I want you to think about this. When you become more and more aware, as you become more and more aware of your imaginal activity, and when you find activity that is productive, do more of it. When you find activity that's not productive, do less of it. And what's fascinating to me is oftentimes people will notice, oh, you know, it's the visual triggers that bring me down. It's the auditory triggers that bring me up. Oftentimes, I'll hear something, and that will be the difference that puts me back on track. Or I'll see something, and that'll be what knocks me off my square. And the more you notice these things, the more you can actually run your life. You can actually creatively use your states instead of letting your imagination and vine grow wild. Remember, we trim what's producing so it produces even better and stronger. Okay? That's what we do with our imagination. We cut what's not producing for us, and as you explore visual, auditory, kinesthetic, picture, sound, and feelings, you're going to notice some patterns that pops up. And as you notice them, and you take charge of your life more and more, you're going to notice it becomes much easier to walk and live in that state of the wish fulfilled. Do this, and you get to live the adventure of a lifetime. Okay, that's it for now. See you tomorrow, and remember to have fun.